Hello and welcome to Boston, Massachusetts, home to the Freedom Trail, the heart of the American Revolution, and we are here to find out who will end their season on a high note as champions of the Fenway Bowl. Weeks of additional practice and prep for bowl games not only can set the tone for what we're going to see in this game, but for what might be in store next season as well. As we'll see a squad from the ACC, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, taking on a team from the Sun Belt, the Arkansas State Red Wolves. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. Kickoff team out there ready to tee it up in this bowl game. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. So Arkansas State's offense will take the field first. Guys, it's been a long season. These two squads have had their fair share of battles, but today, David, they have a chance to end the season with a W.
Yeah, and it's a little bit old school, right? With the bowl system, not as much to play for, but you get to put that uniform on again. And it should mean something. You had the bowl prep. You got to have some fun in a different city, Jesse. Now you get to go out and attack this game.
And it's another opportunity just to finish the season, right? To go out with a win. Both of these teams have taken this bowl game seriously. They've prepared. They feel like they're both ready to go. Winning this game is important to build momentum for next year, and also you want to send the seniors out with a W.
He'll get it up to about the 32-yard line before he stopped, and it'll be first down. And the Red Wolves come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Off the play fake on first down, the throw. Working that left side. They'll get the first down. It's spotted on the 49. The Red Wolves have their offense in high gear. Looking for a gap. It's Cross. Pass to Stetson, still on his feet. They'll stop him at the 41, but he's got 10 yards, and they'll move the chains.
First down. Physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another first down. Gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got a burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. Right now, he's doing some damage on this defense.
Second down. Looking for a man. It's Rayner. Grabbed in the middle, it's Rucker. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a first down. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. He's got it on the right.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
The ball is down at the 14 after that grab. So first down here as they go back to work. It's been a defensive battle through the first period, and the stats tell that tale. Both sides trying to find a little rhythm and efficiency and move the ball some here as we start the second quarter. And the Red Wolves had tough field position to start this drive, but they've been relentless in moving the ball methodically down the field. Fires to the wideout. And he will take it in. Touchdown, Red Wolves!
You talk about ball control offense. This offense just held the ball for the whole first quarter. And then some. Strung a drive together, making the great plays when they needed them. That's a great opening statement from this offense.
They get set for the point after as we have the first score of the game. And the PAT makes it 7-0. So a scoring drive there of 83 yards. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he takes this from inside the 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, that they get him on the ground at the 20. So the Wake Demon Deacons offense will go to work for the first time today. Guys, it's been a long season. These two squads have had their fair share of battles, but today, David, they have a chance to end the season with a double.
Yeah, and it's a little bit old school, right? With the bowl system, not as much to play for, but you get to put that uniform on again. And it should mean something. You had the bowl prep. You got to have some fun in a different city, Jesse. Now you get to go out and attack this game.
And it's another opportunity just to finish the season, right? To go out with a win. Both of these teams have taken this bowl game seriously. They've prepared. They feel like they're both ready to go. Winning this game is important to build momentum for next year, and also you want to send the seniors out with a W.
A costly penalty for this defense gives them a 1st and 10. To the air on 1st down. Snagged in the middle. It's Hernandez. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the 1st down.
Well, the defense playing zone coverage there. They're taking away all of the QB's primary options down the field, so he has to check it down to the drag running underneath.
And the Demon Deacons with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. Off the bootleg, looking to fire. The short hands, it's Claiborne. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one. This offense will snap it from the 42 on 1st and 10. Sends it back in motion. They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense.
The quarterback just lost track of the play clock. Didn't get the snap off quickly enough. Looking to throw. Setting up the screen. A huge play there, and they finally get him out of bounds at the 37.
And they executed that running back screen to perfection. Quarterback held on to it. He let the rush get to him. Offensive lineman got out in position, and the running back sold it too. Once he had the ball in his hands, he just had blockers and green field out in front of him. They pick up an explosive play on a running back screen.
Leaves it with the back. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down. The clock has reached the 2-minute mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. The Demon Deacons can really attack on this 2nd and short. Quick toss. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Coming to the line, looking for that 1st down on 3rd and short from the 29. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down. Here comes the field goal unit. Kick is good. The offense has 3 points to show for the drive. That'll bring him to within 4.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
So the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away after putting up a field goal. Let's see what the defense can do. On the run from inside his own 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Looking to pass. It's Rayner. It's complete to the left.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly. That's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm right now.
And the throw out to the sideline, good for just a few yards. The Red Wolves are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. He's looking to throw on 3rd and short. There's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the 1st half. The punt team makes its way onto the field. They'll have to punt for the first time this afternoon. A fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. Looking downfield on 1st down. He's going to take off. Quarterback gets the 1st down and more. The offense quickly calls timeout to stop the clock.
It's going to be tough on this defense containing this guy because he's got that sixth sense to get outside the pocket, and at that point, he's throwing it and hurting you, or you can take off and run. That time able to get the first down. Big challenge for the defense moving forward.
Carrying the ball with an edge and hammering his way to the 40. They'll try to kick it into overdrive. Clock's running. Second down coming. Wants to go up top. Finds his big tight end. Brought down at the 31. It is a first down. And the Demon Deacons come to the line with a new set of downs. Wants to go up top on first down. Fires to the big fella. The offense calls timeout, and they won't have any more left this half. Running out of time here in the first half, they're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Wants to throw. They'll have to be efficient against the clock. Keeps it and gets the first down. A really nice run and gain, and he gets down to avoid taking punishment. Every second is meaningful, and they save a few of them with the spike. And in the waning seconds of the first half, they'll try to put up 3 before going to the break. Absolutely center cut. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Reese, hard not to enjoy that incredibly historic town. What a fun time to be in Boston, and what a fun first half we've had in the Fenway Bowl. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. With that said, let's send it back to Reese and the fellas for the conclusion of the Fenway Bowl.
And the Red Wolves will kick it away to start the second half. On the move from inside his 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. They'll snap the ball. First play of the drive coming from their own 24. Keeping it on the ground to open the second half. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. Right back to the well. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost 1 on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Looking to fire. Finds his man. It's Claiborne. Nice gain on that play, but a little bit short of the first down. The Demon Deacons line up trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. They'll try to run for it. Just nowhere to go against this defense to find that single yard he needed on 3rd down. Tight end now in motion. Needs it to keep this drive alive. He's not going to get there. Stopped short on 4th down. He'll pull it on the read. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Back to throw. It's Rayner. Quickly complete. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. It's 3rd down, and they've got to get it to the 33. From the gun, wants to pass. And they can't make the connection on 3rd down. The Red Wolves will bring the punt team onto the field. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. He'll do it himself. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. We've reached the break, and Arkansas State has the lead. And sitting in a good spot as we wrap up the 3rd. Let's take a look at our game stats while we have a break in the action. comes the fourth. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. So the final period starts with a second down play. Caught over the middle. It's Vick.
You got to like this defense, man. All game long, great job tackling the football. Like, you throw it on the perimeter, they're coming up. They're not giving the run after the catch to these receivers. A lot of times you see so much damage done after the catch. This defense has been dialed in, and the big play has been a non-issue.
So important to convert these third downs, and they get it done. They'll have it at the 42. Wants to throw on first down. Trying to make magic with his feet. Still on his feet at the 45. And he was off to the races. Finally tripped up at the 36.
Every possession later in the game means so much more. You start getting in the fourth quarter, one possession games, QB drops back and makes these first downs. These extra set of downs now become so much more important late in these ball games.
And the Demon Deacons are moving quickly down the field. Looking to throw on first down. Got a little space. Able to get just a few before sliding to avoid the hits. They'll line up for a second down play. Trying to get the edge on the right.
Well, trailing late in the game right now, the offense obviously needs better plays than that. They took a negative play, but at least the good news is they got out of bounds, so they're able to stop the clock. They've got to dial something up here that's going to get a big play.
Grab near the sticks. It's Vick. They've got enough for the first down, and they're in the red zone at the 20. Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is looking for a play to close this deal out. He's going to lose a yard on that one. The lost yardage leaves him with second and 11. Back to pass. There's the pressure. And the pressure will get there. The sack. Down he goes in the waiting moments. That could be a costly play. Now third and long and trying to play catch-up in more ways than one after that earlier sack. Catch in the middle. It's Vick. Quick timeout by the defense here, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. So here we are on fourth down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. Just drives it between the uprights. They take the lead just over a minute to go, and now, guys, the challenge, try to stay on top.
Well, the offense and special teams did their job, right? Here late in the fourth quarter, they put themselves now in position to win this game. It all comes down to the defense. Can they deliver? If they get the stop, they win this game.
He'll start the return inside his 5. And the returner is stopped. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. Back to pass, it's Rayner. They're working that left side. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. The hurry up now, second down, clock ticking. Wants to go up top. Throws to the wideout. Complete to the right. And he gets it to the 44-yard line. It'll be a first down.
Man, this quarterback is going to have to be deadly accurate here in this 2-minute situation, right? And that's really what he's had to be all game long. He hasn't had a lot of yards because the coverage has just been so tight. He's had to be pinpoint perfect. It's been hard just to find completions, no doubt. That's going to be the same thing here in this 2-minute drive.
Grabbed over the middle. It's Burris. The offense gets a quick timeout. At this point, every second is precious. And the Red Wolves with the 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Quick completion on the out. He'll be shoved out of bounds at the 35-yard line. The Red Wolves in a good spot here with second and short. Makes the grab. It's Burris. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down.
I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
To the air on first down. quickly to the tight end. And not much doing there as that defense runs him out of bounds. Timeout called by the defense and 15 seconds to go in this one. Right down the boulevard, it's good. You understand the celebration after taking the lead, guys, but this thing is not over yet.
It is a nerve-wracking feeling as a football player when the game comes down to your kicker. And he has to come through, and Palmer, he comes through with flying colors.
And you know in college football, no field goal is automatic. But there's no college kicker situation here. He drills that right through the uprights. And, David, it looks like his team's getting the dub.
Nice, just enough space to cross the 25. Let's mark it at the 27-yard line. Looking downfield on first down. Might be looking to run. Pressure all over the quarterback, and down he goes at the 24. Timeout is called with just a single second left. No time to waste here. They've got to get set and pick up chunk yardage. Here comes the heat. He's run out of bounds and didn't gain an inch on the play. to Pasadena and the majestic Rose Bowl, one of the unique settings in all of sport. This year's Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential, is a crucial part of the college football playoff. Hi, folks, and welcome to this highly competitive matchup, as we'll see the #1 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, taking on the 4th-ranked team, the Georgia Bulldogs. For EA Sports, I'm Chris Fowler, joined in the booth by Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk, let's get this thing going. Kick it away to get this game going. And it's fielded. Can the returner make something happen here? And he's tackled at the 21. That's where the drive will start. So Georgia's offense is up first today. And each offense features a star tight end, Kirk. What an elite matchup with guys who can really hurt defenses in a variety of ways.
When was the last time we did a game where we were excited to watch 2 tight ends from opposing teams go against each other? But that's what we have today. Both of these guys are elite at their position. Both want to have bragging rights that they're the best in the country. Let's see who can be showcased better today.
Heads out of bounds as a short gain on the play.
Chris, the more we watch these spread offenses attack in today's game, it's not just about the vertical shots with the taller receivers on the outside. Defenses are challenged even more by those smaller slot receivers and their quickness in space.
Completion makes it 2nd down. Looking for a gap. It's Frazier. Looks like Georgia will have the 1st down. 1st down and 10. Grab behind the line. It's Bell. They bring him down, but a solid gain there on 1st down. Looks to be just inches short of the marker. Come to the line for 2nd down and very short now. Makes the catch downfield. Tackle made after a big gain.
Really good route here by the receiver, but I love the quarterback's ability to look off that safety and make that throw. And that's part of the quarterback's job here when you play in Athens for this Georgia offense. They've had some great quarterbacks over the years. Guys like Matthew Stafford and Aaron Murray, and more recently Jake Fromm, and of course Stetson Bennett, who won back-to-back national championships. And what they're seeing today from this quarterback, they got to be very proud of.
Quarterback still with the football. The senior able to make the stop after a short gain. And set. Here's 2nd down. To throw, it's Stockton. Over the middle and incomplete. They're backed up here trying to make something happen on 3rd and long. Dropping back, looking to throw for the 1st down. Over the middle, it's Thomas. They bring him down, but that's enough to move this offense into the red zone with a 1st down to 17. From the shotgun, it's a handoff. Picks up 2, so it's 2nd and 8. From the shotgun, here's an inside give. And he's able to find some running room. Nice pickup. An important 3rd down conversion coming here in the red zone. They flip it to him on the jet sweep. They're able to convert. Now it'll be 1st and goal at the 6. And the Bulldogs come to the line with 1st and goal. Here's the handoff on 1st and goal. Rolls into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia.
What an opening drive by this offense, and especially this running back. Every single time they gave him the ball, he's getting positive yards behind that big offensive line. And if I'm the defensive coordinator, you better make some adjustments and do it in a hurry. You got to get more guys committed to the line of scrimmage to stop this run game.
team makes it 7-0. Got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. Return starts from inside the 5. And he stopped at the 20. Tried to make something happen. That's good coverage there. The Texas Longhorns offense gets their first crack now. And Kirk, how cool is this matchup? You get an elite quarterback. We talked to him about the opportunity to face a corner on the other side who's just as elite.
You know, anytime that you're a corner and you consider yourself the best in the country, there's no better opportunity than going up against one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Let's see who can step up and show that they're the better player.
Second down after that run on the previous play. Out of the shotgun, he'll hand it off. He's in the clear. They bring him down, but that's a good play. Moves the ball to the 39. Great start to the drive. Back-to-back explosive plays, and now another first down. Handoff here from the shotgun. Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. Didn't expect to lose 4 in the first down run. Set up now 2nd and 14. To the air, it's Manning. Quarterback finds an open target on the left side. Receiver brought down after a short pitch and catch. Keeping it on the ground here. He's not going to get the first down. It's 4th down. The Longhorns will line up to boot it away. And the offense will punt for the first time this afternoon. He was hoping that would check up, but a big bounce sends it into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the first play of the drive now from the 20-yard line. And the ball is handed off out of the shotgun. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Running play goes backwards, makes it 2nd down and 12 now. He'll ride the back again here. And he goes nowhere. Stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Well, a serious challenge for this offense. You don't want to be in 3rd and long inside your own 20. How much of a risk will they take to try to pick up this first down? That one is incomplete. The defender was right there, and it brings up 4th down now. The Dogs will line up to punt it away. The fair catch made at the 30-yard line. The Longhorns offense takes the field. The last time they were forced to punt it away. Can they get points out of this possession? Running back has it on the screen now. Powering through. Runner scoots out of bounds after gaining decent yards. 2nd down play coming up for this offense. And the quarterback drops back looking for an open man. Tries a quick throw. Longhorns are moving quickly down the field. Offense comes up to the line. They might have a chance for a couple more plays before the quarter expires. First down, looking to throw the ball. Delivers quickly to the left side. Oh, he makes the catch. Tackle after a solid gain. It's enough for a first down, and that should wrap up the first quarter of play. Well, Kirk, it's Georgia on top so far. And at the end of the first quarter, let's check out the stats so far. Plenty of time for some plot twists here as we begin the second quarter. So here we go. First play of the quarter. The offense has a first down. Quarterback will throw it off the run-pass option. They make the tackle, but not before a solid gain on that pass.
This is what makes the RPO so difficult to defend if you have a quarterback who can read it. It's that old argument, which guy has the chalk last? Well, with a quarterback that can read it like that, the quarterback has the chalk last. He reads that they're up, makes the throw in the quick slant, gets some really good yards.
And he'll get the first down yards before they finally bring him down. Longhorns come to the line to start a first set of downs. Motion now from the tight end. Play action here on first down. It's a quick grab. And he's brought down, but not before he gets first down yardage.
Well, this is what coaches love to see. A quarterback with the ability to read the defense properly and then just get it to the open man. Sometimes it sounds simple, but it's tough to execute. This time we have good recognition by the quarterback. Then he gets it down to the tight end. You can see what he can do after the catch.
The Longhorns move into the red zone. One back in the backfield, and he'll get the carry. Going absolutely nowhere. That'll be a loss of the ball. Been a really productive drive, but the loss there now makes it 2nd and 12. To throw, it's Manning. Grab down the middle, it's Moore. They bring him down short of the end zone, but this will set up a 1st and goal. Keep it on the ground, trying to power in for the touchdown. Nowhere to run on that play. They've got him in the backfield. It's a loss of a yard. 2nd down and goal, upcoming. Off the play fake, looking to pass it. Launching one to the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Longhorns.
What a call with a play action down inside the 5-yard line. Completely froze the defense. Their eyes are in the backfield, locked in on the quarterback. They lost focus on where he might be throwing the football. Made it an easy read for the quarterback and a touchdown.
Extra point try coming now. And it's up and good. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. He's going to return it from near the goal line. He's tackled at the 21. That's where the drive will start. Offense out there to start a new drive from the 21. 1st down, looking to throw the football. He dumps it off to the tight end. And the defense swarms, not much of a gain on that completion. 2nd down after that short completion. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun, looking for a receiver. Short connection to the tight end here. They bring him down after a short gain there. Offense looking to convert on 3rd and short from the 27. Makes the ground. It's Thomas. They tackle him at the 38. Solid gain. Nice play there. Scanning the field. It's Stockton. Caught over the middle. It's Branch.
This quarterback has a lot of different options, but I don't mind him getting this wide receiver involved so early in the game. Let him build up his confidence. He could have a monster day for him.
The completion sets up a 2nd down play. Quarterback pulls the ball. It's a keeper. Breaks into the clear. Tackle finally made at the 37. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. The clock has stopped, and we've reached the 2-minute timeout before halftime. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Here's a screen pass to the running back. And that broken tackle will earn him 1st down yardage. 6th play of the drive coming up. On 1st and 10, looking to throw. Lets it fly to the wide out. Grab down the middle. It's Bell. Tackle at the 5-yard line. Now it's 1st and goal right there. Timeout is called by the defense. That's their 1st of the half. Keep it on the ground on 1st and goal. Nowhere to run. They'll corral him for no gain. And now a timeout quickly called by the defense as they try to get everybody on the same page here. Quarterback wants to throw it on 2nd down. On the move now. And they bring him down for a short loss on the scramble. And now the defense decides to spend a timeout to regroup a bit. Here comes 3rd and goal, trying to overcome that sack they gave up earlier. This will be a challenge. And he makes the catch. Touchdown, Dogs.
Well, that's a thing of beauty right there. Good job all around. Offensive line gave the quarterback enough time. Quarterback puts it right on the money. And with this receiver running a route like this, makes it pretty simple. All you had to do was get his head turned around, catch that football. He's already in the end zone for the touchdown.
Here's the point after attempt. PAT makes it a 7-point lead. So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. He thought about returning it, but instead takes a knee. It'll be a touchback, and they'll start at the 25. And the first play of the drive now from the 25. Looking to throw. It's Manning. Looks to his left and makes the completion. He's brought down quickly. A short gain gets them a few yards closer to the marker. Quarterback looking to throw it on second down. Over the middle. It's Moore. They make the stop, but not before a solid gain that time. Here comes a first down pass attempt. Physical defending. That one falls incomplete. Brings up second down. After the incompletion, they come up on 2nd and 10 from the 45. Looking to chuck it again. Quick throw complete to the tight end. He's brought down after a short gain. That's not going to be first down yardage. On third down, he drops to throw. Fires it on the move. He's got it with room to run. They make the tackle, but that's a solid gain. Moves the ball to the 34. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Grab down the middle. It's Moore. They bring him down, but a solid gain moves the football to the 24 and a first down.
How about the offense here dialing up a good zone beater? Let's give credit to the coordinator for calling the right play at the right time and the receiver finding the hole in that zone.
Longhorns have 1st and 10 here. Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. Caught over the middle. It's Moore. They stop the receiver, but that's a solid gain in that play. The offense comes back out there. Not much time left. Perhaps just time for a couple plays before the half. So it's third down, but out comes the field goal unit. They'll try to add 3 points before halftime. And that kick right down the middle. Can't hit it any better than that.
I was watching this guy in pregame. He has got a strong leg. Not surprised here he's able to put 3 points up here for the offense.
So here's the kickoff now. Offense settling for 3, tacking on a little bit of momentum before the halftime break. He'll return it from inside the 10-yard line. And they stop him at the 23. That's solid coverage. So they'll just take a knee here, and that will send us to halftime. Somewhat conservative call, but content to take this lead into the locker room. And that will do it for the first half here. Kevin Connors now has our halftime update.
Fellas, many thanks. Happy to provide a break in the action to kind of pour over exactly what has transpired so far. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W.
And he'll just take a knee. Drive will start at the 25-yard line. And the first play of the drive now from the 25. They get the second half started with a running play. They tackle him behind the line, a loss of 4. Rough start to the drive, they lose 4. Makes it now 2nd down and 14. Short pass finds the tight end. And he's shoved out of bounds with the defense short of the first down marker. Tough situation with the offense. 3rd and long from their 25. Let's see if the defense brings some heat here. Back to pass. It's Manning. And it's caught on the crossing pattern. They make the stop just short of the marker. It's going to be 4th down and inches to go. They'll kick it away here. Trying to return the punt for some extra yardage. And the coverage team makes the stop on this return. And the Georgia offense is back out on the field. Looking to throw it on first down. Makes the catch. It's Bell. They bring him down quickly. A short pitch and catch to get a little bit closer to the marker. Oh, down he goes. It's a sack.
Well, I'll say this defense went in at halftime, made some adjustments, and they look like a different group here in these first few plays.
comes 3rd and long, trying to overcome that sack. This is going to be really difficult. And they're moving the receiver now before the snap. Drops back, looking to throw for it on 3rd down. That's caught. It's Branch. And here he goes. Tackle made after a big gain all the way to the 36.
Well, it's 3rd down. The defense knows he's going to get the ball. You still can't stop the quarterback finding this receiver to be able to pick up another 1st down for this offense.
The offense is clicking, and the defense just searching for answers now. And looking to throw now on 1st down. Quick completion to the tight end. To get him down quickly, not much of a gain on that completion. Pass complete, and it's 2nd down now. To throw, it's Stockton. Gets rid of it on the move. Finds his man, it's Branch. And heads out of bounds after a decent gain. So now it's 3rd and short in the 30. Chance for the defense to make a play here and perhaps force a field goal attempt. They've got him in the backfield, nowhere to run. They'll lose a yard on the play. Coach electing to go for a field goal attempt. And he's got it from 49 yards out. What a powerful kick.
Snap, the hold, the kick, everything there perfect to put 3 points up here for the offense.
Following the field goal, the kickoff team is out there now. And here's the return from inside the 5. And the returner will be brought down. Here's the first play of the drive now, backed up at the 15. 1st down, looking to throw the ball. Grab down the middle, it's Moore. It's a solid gain, moves the ball out to the 28. 1st and 10 play coming up. Shotgun formation. Here's an inside handoff. Passes the 40. He's in the clear. And he steps out of bounds, but a solid gain there on the ground. They trust the left side of that offensive line and come up with a huge play on the ground.
Yeah, your favorite, Chris, there. The old pin and pull there to the left side. Great blocking on the left side, able to create a great push. Nice crease, and the back found that with the vision and picks up some big yards for that 1st down.
Off the play fake, looking to throw. Lets it go quickly. What a catch! He'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Longhorns come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. And the quarterback keeps it here. Breaks into the clear. He'll head out of bounds after a solid gain on that run. Back-to-back big plays. Defense is really set up 1st and goal now. Dropping back, it's Manning. The pass rush closing in, and it's caught. Brought down at the 7. Completion moves him closer to the goal line. 2nd and goal for the offense. From the shotgun, drops back, looking for an open man. It's an out route, the catch made. Touchdown, Texas. Great catch and run for 6. They're set now to try the PAT. The PAT is up and good, so we're tied up here in the 3rd quarter. Got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone. It's Branch. Will be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. Offense out there for the first play of this drive from the 18. Breaks free. And the tackle is made after a 4-yard gain, so 2nd and 6. There's the snap. Looking to throw the ball. looking for the tight end, and it's caught. There's a loss after the completion. That's a good play by the defense. Drops back, needing a third down completion here. Good as he releases it, and the pass ball is incomplete. The Dogs will line up to punt it away. Looking to kick it away for the second time. They finally get him down, but that's a solid return. Good work by the return man. Okay, the Texas offense comes back out on the field. They punch it into the end zone the last time. Let's see if this defense has made some adjustments to stop him this time. He's brought down, but the game moves the ball to the 39. This line getting set up. It's a first down play. Out of the shotgun, he hands it off. Run it up the middle, but stuffed for no gain. Offense through to the line. They might have a chance for a couple more plays before we reach the end of the quarter. Looking to set up a screen pass here. And the tackle is made as time runs out in the third quarter. We get to the end of 3. It's been a tremendous competitive battle, Kirk, as we check out some of the stats so far. And let's see how this one unfolds in the final quarter, set to get underway. Back at it to start the quarter. Offense getting set to run a first down play. One man at the backfield can't get the football.
Nice job here of controlling the line of scrimmage by this offensive line. The back does what he needs to do to get positive yards on first down.
Second down after that run on the previous play. A quick throw out left, complete. They'll actually lose yardage after the catch. The defense all over him that time. Looking downfield, it's Manning. Makes the throw across the middle of the field. He makes the grab. Brought down quickly at the 14, but the offense is in the red zone. And they'll run it out of the shotgun. They got him, but not before a solid gain on the ground. So down here in the red zone, every yard tough to find. Here is a crucial play coming up. And the same runner's got it again. Breaks the tackle to get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. So here we go. Third down in the red zone. The kind of play that decides football games. Can he make it to the marker? They finally stop him, but that gain is good for a first and goal. The game could come down to this possession. All tied up, first and goal. Can they punch it in? And he will be stuffed for no gain. Ball moved back to the 4 for second and goal. Pre-snap motion from the offense. Takes off in a bootleg. Finds his target, and it's complete. Defense shoves him out of bounds. Not much of a gain there. They break the huddle for third and goal now. They're 2 for 2 on third this drive. On the ground, trying to punch it in for the score. Touchdown, Longhorns. They jump on top now here in the fourth.
A little bit surprised here, Chris. I thought they might put the ball in the air here on third and goal, but instead they run the football, keep it on the ground, and they get the touchdown.
So they'll try to add the lead now with PAT. PAT is up and good. They lead by a touchdown here in the fourth quarter. Kickoff team out there. They are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. And the kickoff will be returned. And he stopped at the 20. Tried to make something happen, but that's good coverage there. Here's the first play of the drive now from the 20-yard line. Looking to pass. It's Stockton. That one falls incomplete. Good defensive play. Brings up second down. After the incompletion, second and 10. What can they do here to make it third and manageable? There's some pre-snap movement in the backfield. And the QB will try again on second and 10. Caught over the middle. It's Thomas. They bring him down, but the drive has now reached the 35.
Well, the quarterback has just too much time against this zone. There's not enough pressure. It's allowing him to sit back and pick apart this zone defense.
Big guys up front lined up. It's first down. Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. Grab down the middle. It's Thomas. Tackle made, but not before he reaches the 44.
You know, we talked this week with the offensive coordinator about what makes this receiver so special. He kept referring to his route running. Here's an example of that. Great route, enough separation to give the quarterback a nice lane to throw the football.
The offense getting closer to a game-tying touchdown. It's first and 10. Looks right for a quick completion. And he'll run out of bounds after picking up a few yards on the play. Second down after that previous play. They snap it. Quarterback looking to throw the ball. The short completion to the tight end. And they wrap him up after the completion just short of the first down marker. We've reached the 2-minute timeout as this offense tries to stage a dramatic comeback and win the game late. Pressure moment for the quarterback. We'll see if he can stay calm and collected. Down the score late in the game. They make the stop just short of the first. Looks like inches to go, and now fourth down. Their last chance here. Moves out of the pocket. Going to try to use his legs here. Looks like Georgia will have the first down. Here we go, trailing late in the game here. Serious urgency for this offense right now. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Pickup is 5 yards, so it's second down and 5. Now they've got to hustle to the line and get set. Back to pass. It's Stockton. Makes the catch downfield. And the coach quickly calls timeout after the play, trying to hold on to as much time as possible. Georgia setting up for the first and 10 now. And he drops back in the gun. Can't get it away. The defense has got away. Huge stop at this stage of the game. A timeout is called. We'll talk some strategy in this very important drive. That sack makes it second down and forever. Here's the snap. Offense looking to throw the ball. The receiver makes the catch. Tackled quickly after the catch. He'll be short of the marker. Crucial. Third down coming up in the red zone. Can they keep the drive going, or will they have to settle for 3? And he'll drop back here on third down. And it's intercepted right near the goal line.
Well, that defender deserves the game ball for that game-sealing play. Now all there is to do is run out the clock and walk out of here with a W.
Here's the first play of the drive. They'll set up from the 13. From the shotgun, it's a handoff. Tackle made at the 23 as they gain some important breathing room. And now a timeout taken by the defense, trying to preserve as much clock as possible for their offense. And the offense will just take a knee. Welcome, everybody, to Pasadena and the majestic Rose Bowl, one of the unique settings in all of sport. This year's Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential, is a crucial part of the college football playoff. Hi, folks, and welcome to this highly competitive matchup, as we'll see the number 21 team in the country, the Texas A&M Aggies, taking on the 7th-ranked team in the land, the Clemson Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, Chris Fowler, joined as always by Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk, let's get right to the action. Tigers will kick this deep to start us off. He'll bring it out from his end zone. Coverage team flying downfield, not much gained on that return. The Aggies offense comes on the field first today. We got a real treat today. We're going to see a matchup between a high-powered offense that's been almost impossible to stop against a defense that's been shutting people down. Kirk, this should be fun.
Well, this is what really you hope for in a game of this magnitude, is good versus good. That's what we have, as you said, Chris. Outstanding offense, been producing all year, and this defense has been taking no prisoners, just dominant. Something's got to give today.
Tough to show, but a sophomore quarterback to pick up the first down himself.
These are the kind of plays that keep defensive coordinators up at night. You spend so much time putting your plan together to stop the pass, and then nobody accounts for the quarterback on a run.
Offense will set up on 1st and 10. Grab behind the line. It's Concepcion.
I love the call here by the offensive coordinator, getting this wide receiver involved early in the game. Obviously a long way to go, but you want this receiver to make a big impact today and get his confidence established early.
And they try the middle, but stuff for no gain. Big moment on the opening drive. They face 3rd down. Looking to pass. It's Reed. Caught quickly. Breaks off a defender. That gain is good enough for a 1st down. Ball spotted at the 42. This Texas A&M offense is moving quickly down the field. Caught behind the line. It's Concepcion. Brought down that crosses midfield to the 46. Fresh set of downs for the offense. 1st down. Caught in the backfield. It's Concepcion. Defense surrounds him. Just a short gain on that completion.
This is an example of a quarterback and his offense just taking what the defense gives you. Not a huge play, but positive yards. The defense wants to give that throw to you. You take it, get the ball to your receiver, stay ahead of the sticks.
Offense getting set. 2nd down play here. Grab behind the line. It's Concepcion. The defense grabs it after the completion. He's just short of a 1st down. This will be 3rd and short, the 7th play of the opening drive. And 3rd and short, they hand the ball off. Breaks through the tackler.
Boy, an opportunity missed here by this defense. They get him to 3rd down. They load up the line of scrimmage, but they could not deny this back of coming up with that conversion.
Texas A&M getting set with a 1st and 10 now. Out of the shotgun, he'll hand it off. Tough running there, but not quite enough for a first down. This will be the 9th play on the drive. They'll look to throw it here on second down. Able to throw it away. He felt the heavy pressure, took a hit, but got rid of the football. Impressive opening drive. The 10th play coming up. It's third down. Makes a quick grab. And this one goes nowhere. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So here comes the kicking team on the field. They'll settle for 3. He missed it. Off target that time. With that miss, no change in the score. So the Clemson Tigers offense makes their way onto the field for their first possession. Okay, we know this top quarterback is a confident guy, but talking to him, he's also well aware how good that edge pass rusher on the other side is.
Well, he better be ready today. He's got great skill. We know what he's capable of doing, but this will be the best defensive end that he's faced all year with that kind of pass rushing ability. So he's going to have to maneuver around in that pocket to make plays. The defense is spread all over the field, creating some one-on-one matchups, and the quarterback makes them pay for it.
So quickly, with one explosive play, this offense has moved inside the opponent's 40. On first down, it's play action. And a short pitch and catch to the tight end. And he shoved out of bounds with the defense short of the first down marker. It's a bootleg looking to throw. That's caught. It's Williams. And he's brought down, but he does have enough for the first down. A new set of downs after that completion. Back goes in motion now. Let's see how the defense adjusts. The pocket breaking down. Swarmed with a pass rush. A sack.
Nothing is more gratifying for a defense to be able to sit back and play zone and still get pressure on the quarterback with your defensive front.
First down sack pushes the ball back. Second down coming up. It's a quarterback keeper. They bring him down. That's a very solid game, but still well short of the first down. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this third down. Looks to the left, and it's complete. Defense able to stop him. It's fourth down now. So the decision is to not go for it, but settle for 3. Here comes the field goal team. The kick is good. He knocked it right down the middle. So we have our first points on the board. That makes it 3-0.
Oh, Chris, it's a nice kick here to polish off that drive with at least 3 points up on the board.
So after coming away with 3 in that drive, the kickoff team is out. Fields it just outside the goal line. And he stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. Here's the first play of the drive now to begin at the 19. Dropping back. It's Reed. Finds that big tight end for a short pass.
And here the tight end shows off his hands for a nice game. Love to see the big man get his touches.
Looking to pass here on second down. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. It's a solid game to pick up the first down on what will be likely the final play of this first quarter. So Clemson has the lead here, Kirk, as we head to the quarter break. Let's check out the stats now through the opening period. They've flipped ends of the field. We're ready now for the second period. So here we go. First play of the quarter. The offense has a first down. Here's the snap, and he's looking to throw. Catch made, gets the foot down, but there's no gain on the play. Pass caught, second down now. Looking to throw yet again. And he's going to take a shot down the left side. The outfield shot is incomplete. Brings up third down. They come to the line, a long way to go for the first down, but needing this crucial conversion right now. On third down, he drops to throw. The pass rush gets home.
Chris, that is textbook by this defense in man-to-man coverage. Nowhere to go for this quarterback. He's looking around everywhere to find an open man. By the time he figures it out, it's a sack for the defense.
And the Aggies will send the punt team onto the field. We'll see what he can do with the return. And the coverage team able to bring him down. First play of the drive now. We'll start from the 32. It's an RPO. The quarterback gets it out quickly. He runs out of bounds. That's a big gainer there. One play already to the 46-yard line. It'll be first down. Looking for some space. It's Haynes. The gain is 5, so it's 2nd and 5 now. Handoff here from the shotgun. Slams right into a wall. They've got him for a loss. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a first down. Scanning the field. It's Klubnik. And he finds his tight end for the catch. That play enough for a first down. The offense set up at the 43. First down. Looking to throw the football. It's a short completion to the big tight end. They make the tackle, but that pass creates a solid gain. After play fake, he'll look to throw it. Oh, they trapped him for a sack.
The defender did not bite on the fake at all. They were in pass rush mode the entire time.
That sack sets up an important third down. Grab behind the line. It's Moore. The gain is not enough for first down, so it brings up a 4th and short. So they're short on 4th down, and the coach decides to trot out the field goal team. Oh, and he's off target. It's no good. And the lead stays at 3 after the miss.
Oh, off the upright there. Boy, he hit it clean. It was end over end. I thought it had a real chance, and the ball just kind of kept moving on him, and then doink, right off the upright.
Off the play fake, looking to throw on first down. Caught behind the line. It's Armstrong.
This is why running the football is so important. You run the ball, and then you go play action. It affects the eyes of the safeties and linebackers and frees up some space for the tight end to be able to pick up a nice gain.
And he can't hold on right in his hands, and he dropped it. The offense now looking at a 3rd and short from their own 40, trying to keep this drive going. Back to throw. It's Reed. Good throw. Catch made. Brought down, but it's past the line to gain.
Defenses all around the country have got to do a better job of keeping an eye on these little guys from the slot. They can dismantle a defense with their speed and quickness in the open space.
It's the 2-minute timeout of what's been a really competitive game so far. Let's see if the offense can take the lead before the break. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Caught over the middle. It's Concepcion. Receiver brought down after a short pitch and catch. Well, crank up the tempo here with the clock ticking down. 2nd down. A deep shot right down the middle. Tried to go very deep there. Good effort. Now it's 3rd down. They'll run it from the gun. And they convert on 3rd down, moving the football to the 35. This offense has gotten going at long last as another 1st and 10. Caught in the backfield. It's Concepcion. But the play loses yardage. Very tough 2nd down coming up now. They're going to run it here. And he goes nowhere. Stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 8th play of the drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Dropping back, we're going to throw for the first down. Pass hot. Can he get in? He makes it to the end zone. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
This guy can do it all. We've seen him go behind coverage and make plays downfield. We can see him catch the ball underneath just like this. And when he catches a football, he is so dangerous after the catch. This one leads him into the end zone for the 6 points.
Now they line up to kick the extra point. PAT makes the score 7-3. So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. Fields it inside the 5-yard line. He stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. So here we go. The first play of the drive, less than a minute to play before halftime. Looking downfield, it's Klubnik. The receiver grabs it. The timeout is called to talk strategy. Close game here as we approach halftime. Pass complete for a first down. The offense gets a fresh set of downs. Grab down the middle. It's Moore. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play. The Tigers looking to use the up-tempo offense here. Quarterback looking to pass here on second down. Caught near the sticks. It's Haynes. The offense will now quickly spend the timeout.
Defense kind of lost the running back here. Makes a nice catch and gets the first down in the process.
On 1st and 10, looking to throw. Pass tipped to the line of scrimmage. That's a great play by the defense. 2nd and 10 now from the 48 after that incompletion. Quarterback keeps the football. Slides down to avoid the tackle. The clock is still running. Not to hurry up here, but it's a crucial 3rd down. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. A deep shot to the right. And it's caught outside the 10 and still going.
And you just continue to see the chemistry between these two. And they told us yesterday in our production meeting, they spent hours and hours of working and developing that chemistry and that rhythm by throwing together throughout those summer months. And, man, it's starting to really pay off. He's become his security blanket for the quarterback, and especially on 3rd down, get him the ball.
Over the middle, it's Williams. So a timeout is called. Just a few seconds left here in the first half. So on 2nd down, they'll try out the field goal unit, trying to get 3 before halftime. And it's good, right down the middle.
And that one, my gosh, I mean, it's almost too easy. Nice kick.
So here's the kickoff now. Offense settling for 3, tacking on a little bit of momentum before the halftime break. Return begins inside the 10. And the returner is tackled as time expires here in the first half. Miller's going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it down to Kevin Connors with our halftime update.
All right, thanks, guys. And through 2 quarters of ball, it looks like we're in for another fun one here today. And how do we possibly begin without singing the praises of this receiver? His ability to find gaps, run textbook routes, and then show that breakaway speed. He simply is the total package. How this secondary responds, whether they try to double team him or get aggressive at the line, that'll be the story of this second half. For now, let's get back to the guys in the booth to start up this second half.
The Aggies will kick it deep to begin the second half. They'll return it from inside the 5. He stopped at the 20, trying to make something happen, but that's good coverage there. Here's the first play of the drive now from the 20-yard line. First play of the 3rd quarter is a handoff. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. What's the play call here on 2nd down for this offense? Back to throw. It's Klubnik. That's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact. No flag. Brings up 3rd down. They come to the line. A long way to go for the first down, but needing this crucial conversion right now. Running out of time in the pocket. With the catch, it's Williams. Oh, and he heads out of bounds after a really nice gain there. Clemson getting set with a 1st and 10 coming up. And the ball is handed off out of the shotgun. Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. Didn't expect to lose 4 in the first down run. Set up now 2nd and 14. 2nd down, we're going to throw it. Taking a deep shot here to the right. Deep ball is caught for a huge gain here. They get him down, but not before he reaches the 39.
What a pitch and catch by the quarterback and receiver for a big gain for this offense.
This Clemson offense moving quickly down the field. Here comes a 1st down pass attempt. Makes a quick catch. They bring down the receiver, but that's a nice gain on that play. 2nd down after that completion. Play fake, looking to throw. Pass complete on a crossing route. They make the tackle at the 19, but this offense now has a 1st down in the red zone. Tight end goes in motion. An inside give now from the shotgun.
Chris, the spread era over the years has always grown offensively, but I've been always impressed with defenses that really build their defense to play in space, still have an ability to be sound at the line of scrimmage and defend a running game. It's exactly what we saw right there.
They make the tackle, but not before a solid gain on that pass. They'll try to run for the 1st down. Tackle behind the line. It's a loss of 2. And the coach elects to send out the field goal unit. And it sails right through the middle of the uprights. A solid kick. And with that, they regain the lead.
Well, they almost put a touchdown on the board, but instead they come away with 3 points.
So after the field goal, the kicker out there again to boot it away. Returner looking to make a play here. He tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. And the first play of the drive now coming up from the 17-yard line. Quarterback will throw this out of the RPO. They bring him down after a short gain there. Offense getting set. It's 2nd down. They'll run it here. It's the running back with the ball. Going absolutely nowhere. That would be a loss on the play. The important 3rd down play coming up. Dropping back. It's Reed. But they don't connect. It's incomplete. And it brings up 4th down. And the Aggies will line up to kick it away. 2nd punt now. His first was a beauty. The coverage team able to bring the returner to the ground. Okay, the Clemson offense has backed out onto the field. Kept out of the end zone last time. Had to settle for a short field goal. Can they improve upon that here? Grab behind the line. It's Randall. And they'll be smarter right at the line for no gain. Offense getting set up. Here's 2nd down. There's some pre-snap movement. Back in motion. Grab behind the line. It's Haynes. And the defense swarms. Not much of a gain on that completion. That completion sets up a 3rd down play. Dropping back. We're going to throw for the 1st down. Can't hold on. Good defensive play. Brings up a 4th down. And the Tigers will have to punt this one away. He's on to boot it away now. This one will be fair caught. And the first play of the drive now set up at the 27. Quick throw to the left. Heads out of bounds after a solid gain. How aggressive do you get on 1st and 10? Out of the shotgun, he hands it off. Stopped right there at the line. No gain. Important 2nd down play coming up. throwing off play action. And it's incomplete. The defensive pressure affected his throw that time. So the offense getting set. This is not where you want to be against this defense. 3rd and long. Catch made on the left side. The defense stops him short of the marker, so it's 4th down coming up. The Aggies will bring their punt team on the field now. It's on to kick it away, helping his team with field position. Not what he was hoping for. Instead of pinning the offense deep, it's a touchback. Here's the first play of the drive now from the 20-yard line. To the air, it's Klubnik. From the pocket, delivers over the middle. He's brought down quickly. A short gain gets them a few yards closer to the marker.
Man, I love these big receivers. This time he's able to use his big frame to almost box out the defender on that slant route. If you've got good timing, and this is hard to stop.
The offense will line up. Chance for a couple more plays before the end of the quarter. It's a screen pass complete to the running back. Tackled after he makes the first down as the seconds tick away here in the 3rd quarter. So Clemson has the lead here, Kirk, as we head to the quarter break. We've reached the end of the 3rd. Time is running out to cut into this lead. Let's check out the game stats before we go on. We're set now for the 4th quarter. Who's going to make the crucial plays to take home this W? Back at it to start the quarter. Offense getting set to run a 1st down play. Takes the handoff. It's Haynes. It's a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 coming up. They'll run it out of the shotgun. Slams right into a wall. They got him for a loss. They're backed up here, trying to make something happen on 3rd and long. Dropping back, looking to throw for the 1st down. Just trying to get rid of it. He'll just throw that one away to avoid what would have been a sack. The Tigers will send their punt team onto the field. And he'll kick it away now for the 2nd time. See if he can make the play on this return. And the coverage team gets the returner to the ground. The first play of this drive now, they're set up at the 34. Ball handed off. And the defense smothers him for no gain. Quickly behind the sticks here after the loss. 2nd down and 11. Looking to throw. It's Reed. He's running out of time here. Looking to scramble. And he'll head out of bounds after a short gain on that run. Offense sets the formation. It's 3rd down. Dropping back, looking to throw for the 1st down. Caught near the sticks. It's Concepcion. They stop him at the 47, but that's enough for a 1st down. They're going to run it. A solid 8-yard gain brings up a 2nd and 2. The tight end goes in motion before the snap. Sticking with the running game. Looks like Texas A&M will have the 1st down.
A good push up front here in this back. I tell you, he's got some outstanding vision to be able to find those creases, to be able to get positive yards, and here he gets the 1st down.
It's a strong run, keeps the drive going. 1st down now. On the ground, it's Moss. The defense all over it. They stop him right at the line. Now it's 2nd down here. Change of pace now, looking to throw the football. Here's a throw underneath to the tight end. They bring him down, but this offense now in scoring position. 1st down from the 30.
That's good for Fighting Texas Aggies.
Oh, what a grab! They stop him at the 4, but it sets up this offense with a 1st and goal.
Chris, with this style of RPO, the quarterback has to do a really good job of staying on that ride with the running back to make sure that the defense is really up against the run before he can pull it out and throw the football. Here it's a little further downfield, but the same result as far as the potential and the big gain coming off of an RPO.
Try to run it up the middle, but get nothing. Here comes some more big bodies after the defense. On the ground, trying to muscle it across the line. Touchdown, Aggies! And they take the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Boy, just a great job here by the offensive line and the running back to be able to get this ball into the end zone late in the game like this, now in the fourth quarter, to give them the lead.
See if they can convert the point after. He knocked through the PAT, so the lead is 5 here in the fourth quarter. Got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. And he takes this from inside the 5. He tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. And the first play of the drive now coming up from the 17-yard line. Handoff from the shotgun. Well, they test the middle there, but get nothing. The final 2 minutes here, this defense trying to hang on, the offense trying to make a play to win it. And the motion by the back now forces the defense to adjust. Caught behind the line, it's Haynes. They get him down quickly, not much of a gain on that completion. Tight game, final 2 minutes. Can the offense make a play here? And they desperately need it. Grab near the sticks, it's Williams. The offense will wisely spend a timeout after the play. Clock management's going to be very important here in the final minutes. Hudson getting set with a 1st and 10 now. Using his legs, it's Haynes. And he goes nowhere. Stop cold behind the line of scrimmage. The clock is still running. They got to get set quickly. Dropping back, it's Klubnik.
Chris, we've seen backs have bad days before, but this is about as bad as it gets. This guy can't get positive yards. It's a combination of not using his vision, the offensive line not opening up any holes, and this offense as a whole is struggling, and that's why they're losing this game.
Looks to the left for a quick throw. Oh, and another incompletion. Down 5 late in the fourth quarter. Of course, they're going to go for it on 4th down. Maybe the last shot here. Looking deep for late-game heroics. Oh, and he's got it. Big gain inside the 25. And a quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve as much clock as possible. Heading left after the handoff. And that's a solid gain before the defense able to bring him down. Here we go, trailing late in the game here. Serious urgency for this offense right now. From the shotgun, it's a handoff. Going absolutely nowhere. It'll be a loss on the play. They crank up the tempo here for this important 3rd down play. Dropping back, they're going to throw for the 1st down. Grab down the middle, it's Williams. Defense surrounds it, just a short gain on that completion. It's a 5-point game. They need a touchdown. They'll keep the offense on the field. It's incomplete, and the drive will fizzle out here in the final minutes. And the quarterback just kneels down.